Hello and welcome back to this channel. Today we continue the Read With Me series and we're reading Ida for. We are almost at the tail end of the book. Today is the 10th day and I appreciate those of you who have been able to join me so far from the beginning to now. Um, Before I continue, please, I want you to remember to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell and like this video. If you haven't done that yet, do that. And let me also share the link with others so that they can join us. Just give me 1 minute to do that so that we can go together. Just a minute and we'll go together. And also remember to share the link to others who you love and you want to see an improvement in their lives. Share the link with them so that they can join us and we will go together. Let me see. Okay, so we are continuing now. So I'm going to start reading right away. Okay, so chapter 17. The chapter 17 is get out of the technological time sinks. There is more to life than just increasing its speed. And technology can be your best friend or your worst enemy. As we race into the 21st century, bombarded by information from all sides, many people seem to have an irresistible, if not obsessive, need to communicate continually with people everywhere in their personal and business lives. The compulsion to communicate incessantly, entailing the non-stop use of cell phones, BlackBerry, devices, personal digital assistants, the internet, both wireless and wired, and various contact management systems such as Microsoft Outlook and Maximizer tends to leave people psychologically breathless. We have no time to stop, smell the roses, and collect our thoughts. You have a choice. At the same time, many high powered, hardworking, highly productive people functioning in the dead center of communications technology are not overwhelmed by technology. They seem to have their lives largely under control. Bill Gross, manager of more than $600 billion in fixed income funds and bonds, is famous for exercising regularly and meditating daily to keep centered while using no technology at all. He turns off his phones, leaves his BlackBerry in his office, and exercises without the continual interruptions of people who have an overwhelming need to stay connected. He says that he never misses an important message. For you to stay calm, clear headed, and capable of performing at your best, you need to detach on a regular basis from the technology and communication devices that can overwhelm you if you are not careful. Don't become addicted. In Washington, not long ago, I was at a business luncheon with a room full of high level executives. Prior to the beginning of the luncheon, one of the organizers stood up and said a short grace. Everyone bowed their heads. When the grace was over, the luncheon began. However, at my table, 4 or 5 out of the 8 people seemed to have been greatly affected by the prayer. They kept their heads down and their hands in their laps, even when the food was served. They seemed to be lost in deep thought over the profound questions of the day. Then I realized that they were not praying at all. They were all intensely focused on their BlackBerry devices. sending and receiving email, working their little keyboard like frantic teenagers, playing video games. They were all lost to the world around them as they messaged back and forth, some of them with other people in the same room. They had fallen into the technological trap, a deep sink full of information exchange in which they were drowning. So please, as I continue, I encourage you to leave your comments in the comment section. If there's anything you want to contribute or ask or whatever, just leave it in the comment section. I will follow up to um, respond to you. Okay, so we continue. Technology is your friend. The purpose of modern technology is largely to increase the speed, efficiency, and accuracy of the transfer of information of all kinds. Technology is meant to help us improve the quality of our lives by enabling us to accomplish our key tasks and communicate with the key people in our world faster and more efficiently than ever before. But the use of communications technology can quickly become a form of addiction. People get up in the morning and immediately check to see if they receive any phone calls or voice mail messages on their cell phones. They then race to their computers to pull up their email to see if anyone communicated with them overnight. They call the office to find out if anyone has done or said anything in the last few hours that they should know about. They check their Microsoft Outlook calendars, their personal digital assistants, their BlackBerry devices, and other forms of communication technology every 5 or 6 minutes to make sure that they are not missing anything. This has to stop before it gets out of control. Take back your time. One of the many clients with distributors in 19 states found himself bound and chained to his computer, receiving and responding to emails several hours each day. The more time he spent at his computer, the fewer of his other important tasks he was able to get done. The stress caused by these undone tasks, building up like avalanche overhang, started to affect his personality, his health, and his sleeping habits. We taught him about the 80-20 rule and how it applied to emails. Fully 80% of the emails that he received were of no value and should not even be opened. They should be deleted immediately. Of the remaining 20%, only 20% of those or 4% of his emails actually required an immediate response of some kind. The other 16% could be ignored temporarily or transferred to an action folder where they could be dealt with one at a time. Standardize and delegate. My client felt that no one else had the ability to sort his emails more than 300 per day, and that he had to do it all himself, no matter how much time it took. We encouraged him to sit down with his secretary and go through his emails, showing her which ones were important, which ones were unimportant, and how to deal with the most common questions and requests. To his surprise, within 2 hours, his secretary knew enough to handle most of his emails for him. From then on, she should come in each morning and delete the 80% of the emails that were of no value. She would transfer the essential emails requesting personal action to her boss into a separate folder. If there was a question about an email, she would transfer it to a process folder for him to look at his convenience. At our next meeting, he told me that he had tracked the results of this exercise and calculated that he was now saving 23 hours per week that he could spend on eating his frogs and completing his most important task. This simple exercise transformed his life and reduced his stress levels, improved his health and energy, and made him much more relaxed and more positive person. Here is a question for you. How would your life change if you had an extra 23 hours each week with which to think, work, plan, talk with key co-workers, or even go for a walk with your spouse? Yeah, so as I said earlier, um I'm a few of you are joining. Thank you for joining. If you join, please let me see your comments in the comment section. I want to know that you are really following whatever we are doing. So you can join. And then let me also, some are saying that someone has reached out to me saying that I should share the screen so that, like the way I've been doing every day. Yeah, so let me share the screen so that we can all see from where I'm reading for those who don't have a device. So let me share that with you. Okay. Okay, so this I am. Refuse to be a slave. A journalist for Fortune magazine wrote recently that when he arrived back at the office after a 2-week vacation, more than 700 emails were waiting for him. He realized that it will take him a week to get through them all, during which time he wouldn't be able to tackle any of the projects waiting on his desk. For the first time in his career, he took a deep breath and punched the delete all button, erasing those 700 emails forever. He then got busy with the projects that were really important to him and his company. His explanation was simple. I realized that just because somebody sends me an email, it does not mean that they own a piece of my life in terms of my having to reply to them now or ever. In addition, it occurred to me that if the emails was really important, the sender would send it again. And that is exactly what happened. A servant, not a master. For you to be able to concentrate on those few things that make the most difference in your business or personal life, you must discipline yourself to treat technology as a servant, not a master. Technology is there to help you, not to hinder you. The purpose of technology is to make your life smoother and easier, not to create complexity, confusion, and stress. One of the best rules for dealing with technology is to just leave it off. Resist the urge to start turning on communication devices as soon as you wake up in the morning. Leave the radio off, leave the television off, leave your cell phone off, leave your computer off until you have planned and organized your day. Deliberately create zones of silence in your life where no one and nothing can break through and reach you. Maintain your inner calm by forcing yourself to stop on regular basis and listen to the silence. Sometimes to get more done of higher value, you have to stop doing things of lower value. Keep asking yourself what is important here. What is important for you to accomplish at work? What is important in your personal life? If you could if you could only do one or two of the activities available to you, which ones would they be? Continuous contact is not essential. Remember, when you go away for a day, a week, or a month on vacation or on business and you are out of touch with your communication devices, nothing happens. The world seems to continue revolving whether or not you are in continuous contact with it. Problems get solved, answers get found, work gets done, and life continues to flow along like old man river. Very few things are important that they cannot wait. People often ask me at my seminars, but don't you have to keep current with the news by reading newspapers, listening to the radio, and watching TV? I tell them, if it is really important, someone will tell you. If something important happens at home, at work, in the country, or in the world, someone else can spend hours following the news for you. And he or she will eventually tell you on the first possible occasion. Many people discontinue newspaper subscriptions, stop watching broadcast news on TV, and refuse to listen to the radio. And surprisingly enough, they remain well informed on most important subjects. Someone always keeps them up to date. You should do the same. Eat that frog. Resolve today to create zones of silence during your day-to-day activities. Turn off all communication devices and technology for 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon. You will be amazed at what happens. Nothing. Resolve to take one full day of each week during which you do not touch your computer, check your BlackBerry. In fact, let me add here that he was saying BlackBerry a lot in this book because BlackBerry in those days was like it was the latest and most advanced phone. At that time this book was written, there was no smartphone. That is why he keeps referring to BlackBerry. So if you see BlackBerry, substitute it with what? Smartphone. Okay, I continue. Or make any attempt to keep in touch with the world of technology. At the end of the day, without contact except by voice, your mind will be calm and clear by giving your mental barriers time to recharge, free from the incessant interruptions of communication. You'll be more relaxed, aware, and alert. Okay, so we are going to the next chapter and I continue. Please, if you are just joining, remember to share this video and help others. There are a lot of people that if you share with them, it will help them learn a lot as we all go together. As I told you from the beginning, it is very, very important for us to carry people along this journey. Okay, so we continue. We are going to chapter 18, slice and dice the task. The beginning of a habit is like an invisible thread, but every time we repeat the act, we strengthen the strand, add to it another filament until it becomes a great cable and binds us irrevocably. Thought and act. That's Orison Swett Madden. A major reason for procrastinating on a big important task is that they appear so large and formidable when you first approach them. One technique that you can use to cut a big task down to size is the salami slice method of getting work done. With this method, you lay out the task in detail and then resolve to do just one slice of the job for the time being, like eating a roll of salami one slice at a time, or like eating an elephant one bite at a time. Psychologically, you will find it easier to do a single small piece of a large project than to start on the whole job. Often, once you have started and completed a single part of the job, you feel like doing just one more slice. Soon, you will find yourself working through the job one at a time, and before you know it, the job will the job will be completed. Develop a compulsion to closure. An important point to remember is that you have deep within you an edge of completion, or what is often referred to as compulsion to closure. This means that you actually feel happier and more powerful when you start and complete a task of any kind. You satisfy a deep subconscious need to bring finality to a job or project. The sense of completion or closure motivates you to start the next task or project and then to persist toward the final completion. This act of completion triggers the release of endorphins in your brain that was mentioned earlier. And the bigger the task you start and complete, the better and more elated you feel. The bigger the frog you eat, the greater the surge of personal power and energy you experience. When you start and finish a small piece of a task, you feel motivated to start and finish another part, then another, and so on. Each small step forward energizes you. You soon develop an inner drive that motivates you to carry through to completion. This completion gives you the great feeling of happiness and satisfaction that accompanies any success. Swiss cheese your task. Another technique you can use to get yourself going is called the Swiss cheese method of working. You use the technique to get yourself into gear by resolving to punch a hole in the task like a hole in a block of a Swiss cheese. You Swiss cheese a task when you resolve to work for a specific time period on it. This may be as little as 5 or 10 minutes, after which you will stop and do something else. You will just take one bite of your frog and then the rest, or do something else, and then rest or do something else. The power of this method is similar to that of the salami slice method. Once you start working, you develop a sense of forward momentum and feeling of accomplishment. You become energized and enthusiastic. You feel yourself internally motivated and propelled to keep going until the task is complete. You should try the salami slice or the Swiss cheese method or on any task that seems overwhelming when you approach it for the first time. You will be amazed at how helpful each technique is in overcoming procrastination. I have several friends who have become best-selling authors by simply resolving to write one page or even one paragraph per day. until the book was completed. And you can do the same thing. Thank you for going this far. I think we are almost getting to the end. Eat that frog. One, put the salami slice or Swiss cheese technique into action immediately to get started on a large, complex, multitask job that you have been putting off. Become action oriented. A common quality of high performance men and women is that when they hear a good idea, they take action on it immediately. As a result, they learn more, learn faster, and get much results. Don't delay, try it today. So we have come to the end of today's session. Um, Remember to leave your comments in the comment section, like this video, share it with others so that we can all learn together. Thank you once again, and I will recommend. In fact, I have an upcoming quiz. I have a quiz for all of you. The quiz is come will come by the end of this um, read with me series, and I'm going to give an award for the people. We are the best person to get all like to get the highest mark in the quiz will get an award. So we continue tomorrow. I am sure that most likely tomorrow we may finish with Eat That Frog. Okay, yeah. So thank you once again, and see you tomorrow.